Hey, you guys, welcome back to a special edition of our weekly chat show. It's Labor Day.
Yeah.
Everybody hopefully is enjoying some barbecues. I don't know. I hope you guys are having fun today, doing some cool stuff.
Yes.
But we wanted to get together and sort of talk about Selena Gomez and what's going on with her. Lord knows we love this girl. We talk about her every single day on Clevver, and I think it's safe to say we all feel like very invested in her having a positive career.
Yeah.
So she is in the midst, or was in the midst, of her revival tour, which was sold out all over the world when People magazine made the exclusive announcement that she would actually be stepping away from the tour to focus on her health, that she was diagnosed recently, or actually publicly released information that she's been diagnosed with lupus. She released that info before the release of her last album. And she's saying, quote, "As many of you know, around a year ago, I revealed that I have lupus, an illness that can affect many people in different ways. I've discovered that anxiety, panic attacks, and depression can be side effects of lupus, which can present their own challenges." Then she really went on to say that now she wants to focus on her own health, her own happiness. Her fans are very special to her, and she knows she's not alone in sharing this, but that she really, of course, she's such a sweet girl. She wants to help other people by sharing her plight. But of course now, haters out there are saying, oh no, she's not really taking time off. She's going to rehab. I think honestly, at the end of the day, the most courageous thing you can do in a situation like this is take time off.
Exactly.
I agree, yeah.
And a lot of her fans are a little bit younger, so I think like they may not understand or grasp what it is to have anxiety, to have panic attacks. I personally have someone very close to me that suffers from this, and it is terrible, and it's something that maybe you and I don't understand because we can do normal day-to-day things and it's fine. But when you have panic attacks and anxiety, it's so severe. I mean, every case
really
is
crippling.
different. But things like you can't be in crowded places, anything can tick you off and you freak you out, and it literally deteriorates your health. So I think the fact that she's speaking publicly, I think Zayn Malik, if I'm not mistaken, he also recently, and I mean, we didn't know this about Zayn, so I just hope that her fans support her and that we trash all this, you know, all these rumors that are basically saying that she's having problems with drugs and all these things. If she is, so be it. Let her take care of it. Let her take care of her health. It's none of our business. All we can do is support her as a fan.
It's so hard being Selena Gomez. I know we all think she has it all. She's beautiful. She's a celebrity. But it's not easy being in the limelight constantly. That huge breakup with Justin Bieber that took years, that still seems like it's brewing in the background. And also dealing with the disease that just recently diagnosed. It's a challenge. And also being on tour and having to give so much of yourself every single day during meet and greets, performing, traveling, being on the road. I think she canceled the second half or the last part of her Stars Dance tour before as well. So I don't know if a tour life is good for her and her health generally. But if she is doing drugs or has done drugs in the past, so many people do and have before, it's not a bad thing. If she's going to rehab, it's a great thing. I'm so happy for her because usually these people, we were talking about this earlier, surround themselves with yes people, right? And they'll just tell you yes, and it's okay, do whatever you want. And the people get to a point where they can possibly die or be severely injured because they haven't been taking care of themselves. So I hope for her sake that she is in a rehab just so she can get some quiet time and have somebody to talk to and get back to one so that she can have a great career.
Imagine how hard it is, like you said, to be on the spotlight all the time.
All the time.
TMI, you guys, but the other day I was talking to one of my editors. I'm like, imagine being a celebrity. You have to perform. You have to put on this great show and change outfits. What if you're in your period and you have cramps and you don't feel like doing it? She's a human. So imagine, like, we don't know if she's going through the chronic pain that's a result of lupus and still having to go out there and smile and ha ha ha. That is tough. So.
And with the whole rehab thing, it kills me how people are like, oh, you have to go to rehab, like as if it's a negative thing.
Yeah,
and it's like,
not.
I think it's huge to admit that you have a problem and then to seek help for that. Like that speaks volumes as a person. And it's like, you need to take that time for yourself to get better.
It didn't hurt Demi Lovato. She did it. She went to rehab and came out stronger than ever. And I think that's a great message for their fans who are also dealing with issues, being like, hey, listen, Yep, just like you guys.
Exactly.
Yep. I struggle.
And it was actually Radar Online who reported that she was going to rehab due to some drug issues. All of the drugs that they mentioned, though, were prescription medications, which maybe someone, I don't know what people that have lupus or panic, any sort of anxiety issues would take, but I do know that all of the drugs they mentioned are drugs that you would be prescribed by a doctor. And you know, gosh, sometimes it's hard to keep track of that kind of stuff. It would probably be somewhat easy to mix up those pills. So who knows if that's what happened. Also have to point out that very recently, I know that we were incredibly shocked and devastated here at Clevver with the passing of Christina Grimmie, who was a very dear friend of Selena and her family. She was tragically murdered earlier this summer. And, you know, that would be unbelievably hard to deal with, and then continue to give everything you have without being able to heal at any point. And I mean, Christina stayed with their family. Selena's stepdad managed her for years and years, so that would be like almost on par with losing a cousin or a sister or something.
And not
like
being able to actually
heal.
mourn and heal through that process.
Because you have to be the person that's strong for all of her fans too. Remember, she like did like a little tribute at her concert. She kind of broke down and cried. But she put herself together and kept going, and I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I'd be so hurt. I'd just be like, I don't feel like performing. I just want to stay home, cry, be with the family. So.
Go ahead.
Medicated drugs, if you're taking drugs, like Jocelyn says, it's very easy to make some sort of concoction that you don't even realize you're making that makes you feel ill. And maybe this is just something that a doctor needs to sit down and say, let's evaluate your medication to get you back on track. It's not like you've hit rock bottom and you're on the edge. Maybe they just have to reformulate her medication.
And people are human. It's like you go through a lot of stressful situations. People do sometimes resort to drugs. Not saying that you should do drugs, but it's like you shouldn't criminalize someone or say they're spiraling down like whatever because they're taking it. She's human.
I'm glad you brought up Demi Lovato. It's just the perfect example of someone that had issues, dealt with them, and look at her now.
Maybe this will bring them closer together.
Maybe so. I mean, I think if anything, at the end of the day, we should really celebrate the fact that she's putting her health first, because if you don't have your health, your quality of life is completely changed. So cheers to her for doing that, putting herself first. She has great people around her. We obviously wish her nothing but the best. Want to hear from you guys, though. Hit the comments section, share your well wishes and your thoughts on this story. And don't worry, I'm sure Selena Gomez will be back next year.
We will be ready.
Yes, and we will be breaking down every single second. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great weekend.
Bye, guys.
Want more Clevver videos? Click to the right to check out our weekly recap show, and click to the left for our challenge show episode 2, the Pantyhose Challenge.